And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. Plus also as well, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, where we cover the world of fantasy football like no one else right here at Inside Sports Fantasy Football. So check it out each and every week, wherever you get your podcasts. Joe Soro, he has a great time as Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check him out today right there. And the company that he owns, Simblades. If you need some new lawn exterior for your Southern California home, there's no better place to go than Simblades, SimbladesWithAY.com. Our good friends, Laker Tom, the number one Lakers blogger, who probably is happy right now, thank goodness, and probably breathing a sigh of relief. Also, as well, of course, our good friend Jamie Sweet, Mr. Five Things. You can catch those guys at Lakerholics.com. Go ahead and check out the gang as they go ahead back and forth on what the Lakers need to do next, and the Lakers every which way they can at Lakerholics.com. Plus, our good friends, speaking of Lakers, Lakers in 5, Empire Jeff TV. I know Empire Jeff TV was on earlier tonight for his stream. Glad he got a chance to go. Over 500 subscribers. Congratulations to him. Hopefully you guys can help him out. Speaking of subscribers, go ahead and not only subscribe to our good friends, John McCallan, Empire Jeff TV, and Lakers in 5, but also Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Give him a big shout out. He's always here. Always support him if you can. But also as well, click on the little Joe with the beady eyes, because if you do, you are now subscribed. And you'll get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air. Plus, for you Facebook followers, please click on the like button and also the follow button so you get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break. One more note. Don't forget, each and every game you can join us on playback. We're trying to get our playback crew as large as those other guys. We can do it, and it's with your help, and you'll have a lot of fun too, because you'll get to check out Joe Uncut, Sean Uncut. Stone Hansen stopped by. He returned to us tonight for playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. So what are you doing? You're missing out on watching the game with us at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And what a game it was, coming down to the final seconds. The Lakers in a back-to-back, not looking very good at any point in time of the game. Just could not seem to find that that mix. But then again, a lot of that had to do with a fresh Orlando Magic playing well on the defensive end. Really, just really interesting to see how well Jalen Suggs defends on the perimeter and the kind of fire and intensity that he has, because he was messing things up for the Laker guards, especially Austin Reaves. Orlando was picking on Austin Reaves like it was no tomorrow, and it was just kind of sad to see for a while, and he was struggling again. But D'Angelo Russell, he gets a lot of credit for showing up today. 10 of 14, 28 points, plus 7, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. LeBron James, back-to-back. We weren't sure. Game time decision. He did play 33 minutes, but looked a little fatigued out there at times. Did struggle out there, but gave us, when he was in there, he was a plus for us. Plus 5 overall, 19 points. Anthony Davis, another good performance, 26 points, 19 rebounds, 3 block shots, but it was the closing lineup, which included Christian Wood, not Austin Reaves, that got us the kind of defensive stops that we needed, and we came back in the fourth quarter from behind, sneaking a win after Jalen Suggs missed the last-second 3, 106-103. And here today with us as a special guest, returning to us, earlier he was here, part of our pregame. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing at Orlando Magic Daily, a part of the fan-sided experience. It is Alfred Ezman. Alfred, I'm going to start off with you first. Intel Wild in the super chat, thank you so much for chatting with us. Appreciate it. He says, we won, but why do I feel a certain type of way? Hey, Intel, I feel a certain type of way too. It was not exactly the prettiest win in the world, but Alfred, I think a lot of the credit has to go to Orlando for playing really spirited on the defensive end and almost getting the upset this evening.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I would have liked the win tonight. I'll say definitely that one hurt us. There were points in the game where I definitely thought we were going to win, or had a really good chance to win. But But I agree with you, Gerald. A lot of the credit goes to that defense. Once again, not too high scoring of a game on either side. Jalen Suggs, you mentioned, played very impressive. I was impressed with him all night. He's so physical, so tenacious. That jump ball he got to get another possession in before the clock expired was huge. Impressed with him all night. Impressed a lot, too, with Franz Wagner on defense. He had, I think, like a handful of steals, 3 maybe. So all around, though, it was great team defense. Got to give D'Angelo Russell credit, too. He was starting to hit shots against our team, and that really pushed them over the edge. LeBron had some big shots down the stretch, but, great defensive game. And, it was a good game and something to look forward to as we go play the Clippers tomorrow night.
It's so funny because Gary Harris, to me, has always been one of the most frustrating players for me to watch in the past 10 years, because you guys need a shooter from the outside at the shooting guard position. He's a good shooter from the outside at the shooting guard position, as we saw tonight, but yet for some reason he just never sticks it enough to go ahead and stick in that starting lineup. Tell me a little bit more about Gary Harris. I mean, 5 for 5, I think, from 3. Just definitely, you get what you get from him. Excellent shooting from the outside, but he just doesn't do enough for you guys to go ahead and get that starting position. It's always like, oh yeah, we'll go ahead and just rediscover him from time to time. And there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. It's been a while since I probably have never seen Gary Harris have a second quarter like he did tonight. I mean, it was every shot you put up was falling for him from 3. It was, it really kept the magic in the game, because that first half we did not see a lot of Paulo, and we really didn't see a lot of Franz yet until later in the game. So It was really, and honestly, Jalen Suggs wasn't too bad either offensively. He played well. But again, Gary, you and I have preached this, Gerald, is just buried in that guard room we have, like at the bottom of the pile, so to speak.
And they just find him. They just rediscover him from time to time. Hey, yeah, we have this guy, Gary Harris, on our team.
Yeah, let's throw him in there, give him some minutes, see what he can do. And tonight he kept us in the game going into halftime.
So to me, overall, again, I'm impressed with what's going forward for the Orlando Magic. I want to give your team definitely a credit on that, but I will say the future's looking bright for them. But playing on a back-to-back with the Clippers, that doesn't bode well for you guys. I know that you guys wanted to steal this game, but definitely good for the Lakers that we won. Also here today, a good man indeed, first man up. Also the first Lakers panelist here. It is the guy behind Simblades with a Y.com. It is Joe Soro. I think actually Magic Man came first. I'm sorry. The Madman from Toronto. He was a great part of our playback, starting with the Milwaukee game. It is the guy who got out of Toronto traffic first to get here and watch the game with me. It is Magic Man Sean Grice. Sean, looking relaxed as ever. Great to have you here, my friend. I don't think you took enough Tylenol during the course of the game on playback, especially with Joe shouting in your ear. But let me ask you this. I feel like Intel Wild, yes, we got the win. I don't feel great about it for a great many reasons.
Yeah, Gerald, it's like that hot date you're going on.
Search and destroy is so funny. I'm sorry, Sean. Gassy Joe, Simblades with the why. You only know why because of playback. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I was going to make another analogy, but I'll forego that one because this is a family show. Yeah, I don't know, man. You can't really feel a certain way about the wins at this point. You got to try and stack them as many as you can at the beginning of the season. I mean, Intel, if we go 0-10 over the next 10, we're still 2-12.
Can't be any worse than last year.
You can't be any worse. It's like tearing your tricep or tearing your bicep in a martial arts tournament or a game. You can't make it any worse. The doc said, well, it can't be any better. It can't get any worse. So, Gerald, combination of things tonight. Season high in assists, 28.
Yes.
That was good. It seemed that timely shots were made. The Lakers are still struggling from 3, even though we finally saw a couple different guys make corner threes tonight. That was
and D'Angelo shot well too.
And D'Angelo shot well as well. So let's accentuate the positives here. AD also had a great game. I will say I thought Alfred brought up a great point. I think Franz Wagner at this point is Orlando's most complete player. He just missed a few bunnies tonight, but those are shots he ordinarily can make. And I just feel, if I was Orlando, I would feel a lot more worse about the loss than the Lakers feel about the win. I mean, Gerald, to be perfectly frank, even though the Lakers had a better shooting percentage, um, the Magic fought tonight with their defense. I mean, their defense won them the game against Portland, and it's a feisty team. They look like they are really close to being a play-in team for me.
Also here today, good man indeed. It is, of course, Joe Sorrell from also Simblades with the Y.com, and also Oxide T47 at LakersBall.com. The Lakers did win 106-103. Joe, one of the things we pointed out several times on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, was the fact that Austin Reaves was being targeted each and every possession. It wasn't just one. It wasn't just two. It wasn't just now and then. It was each and every possession he was out there. He was targeted on the defensive end. It was very obvious he was just a target and a game plan for them. And it ultimately came to the point in the fourth quarter where they had to bench him and ultimately go with a lineup of Taurean Prince, Christian Wood, LeBron, AD, and D'Lo. Your thoughts on this? You had some very pointed comments and correct comments along with Stone Hansen and Magic Man and Laker Nick on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Your thoughts, my friend, on Austin Reaves? This is getting to be quite a concern because if he's not giving you what you need on the offensive end, he's really not giving what you need on the defensive end. That's for sure.
In the NBA and in most sports, you'll I think that's why we discussed during the summer about the term great players and all-star players and all NBA players. We get enamored by weekly performances, monthly performances, maybe even a year performance. We heard a lot about how Reaves was going to possibly be the third best player on this team and all this stuff. And if you've watched basketball and sports as long as some of us have, you want to stay in the positive, but the reality is different. We just don't usually say anything. The teams start the game plan, and your job is to deflect the game plan. What made, let's say, Tom Brady great is he was always adjusting from whatever game plan someone threw his way. Austin Reaves right now has a Mack truck just beating down on him, and it's affecting his confidence. It's affecting his mental state. It's affecting his shot. Being in a Laker uniform is even worse. He just got paid more money, a good amount of money, and the pressure of that is becoming a problem. Ham not really being above a C coach isn't helping either, and putting him in good spots so that he can maybe bring a little bit of confidence his way. So everything's just fallen down on Austin at this point. But like anything else in life, when someone isn't pulling their weight, you have to be able to adjust and find someone else to do it. At this moment, which I think in the long run might be a better solution anyways, or a better setup anyways, would be Christian Wood is showing that he can play effectively with AD, which down the road, when we start playing size, that matters. Denver, Phoenix, Milwaukee, this is going to come in very, very handy. The only issue with Darvin Ham's offense is it doesn't exist. It's basically a two-man game with three people watching. I mean, you might as well put the other three in the stands watching the game. Really. I mean, I don't really see any point in running an offense where three guys are just standing around slapping their hams. If you I had to throw in a pun there. Sorry, guys. It was too open. And the Lakers won tonight because of their talent, because AD is all world. LeBron is who he is. He didn't have a good shooting night, but he had timely baskets, which we've spoken about this several times. Timely baskets. D'Lo's timely baskets in the fourth is what made the difference. If he doesn't make those shots, the Lakers lose this game tonight. So timely shots. They shot 53% from the floor tonight. 53%. So as good as Orlando's defense was, the talent on the Lakers, AD, D'Lo, LeBron, all stars, right, came through. And a couple of the role player guys obviously also came through. They shot just under 30% from three. They could have done themselves a favor if they had shot a little bit better there. But the problem right now is the Lakers don't really have an offense that shows of any coherent mindset. And their defense is just not in any way cohesive. But this is a new team. I'm going to give them probably about a month to see if they can fix this problem. If they don't fix it in a month, if this Austin Reaves thing doesn't get fixed, it's I don't know what to tell you guys. I think there's going to have to be some things that need to be figured out at that point.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do sneak out a win at home against Orlando, 106-103. Alfred, I want to bring you back into the conversation. Truly appreciate you. I know you're on the East Coast, just like Magic Man, so I truly appreciate you and everyone else out there around the world listening to us and watching us right now that are on different time zones. More power to you. Plus also everybody else in the West Coast. Truly appreciate you sticking with us here at the Lakers Fast Break. Alfred, I want to go ahead and ask you this, though. When it comes to Orlando, because I want to give your team respect that it's due, you can see the signs. I know that they're not quite there. We discussed it in the pregame, but you can see the signs that they're going to challenge a lot of teams because they have length, they have size, and they have defensive ability. If they can find some shooting consistency, not named Gary Harris, watch out because the future could be strong for Orlando.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, the way
if Suggs had a jump shot, this would not be a question right now.
You called it, man. I mean, in the pregame, you called it. I think.
Well, this goes back when I was doing drafts, and I called him out as the big pick of the draft. I thought he was going to be a top 3 choice, and I really thought he was going to be a winner and have a winning career. I still think that, but it all depends. He's going to be that gritty guy that's going to get you the good steals and defense, or can he find a jump shot to play more consistently and a bigger role for a team?
Right. No, I agree. And I think, they did enough on defense, and it was all of you guys have hit it on the head, just like the Portland game, to keep them in this up until the very end. Again, as Joe said, the timely baskets by the Lakers really kind of just pushed them over the edge. And unfortunately, the Magic couldn't really hit a shot within the last 3 minutes to save their lives. And it was tough because I think there was a stretch where the last 2.5 minutes of that game, they were down a point. It was 104-103 forever, it seemed like, and they just couldn't do enough to kind of get themselves over the hump. And I think, that comes down to there were a lot of guys who really kind of shot not so well that we would have expected. Paolo and Franz had 9 field goals between them. Paolo went 4 for 14. Franz went 5 for 17. It's not what you want to see out of, the places where your offense normally comes from. So, you had to get your role players you don't normally see step up on offense, like Jalen Suggs for a little up until that last shot, and of course Gary Harris to compensate for it. And that, that's where that loss comes in, because it's not, they're not really in your winning formula straight up when you look at it on the offensive end. But again, I got to give the team credit. It was good team defense, and I think that team defense is going to help them against these top teams in the league, like a Denver, like a Boston, where maybe they don't necessarily win it, but, they make it a game for the grand majority of it. And you could tell that there's something starting to brew. So that's what I take from this. I don't think, again, tomorrow against the Clippers, I don't think it'll happen just because it's the second half of a back-to-back, and we definitely worked our butts off, this game to kind of get that win. But I think, I think it's good for down the road. It's a good game to look at, and I think it's still going to be a pretty good year for this team.
One thing I do want to ask you before I send it back over to Magic Man is, where do you see the Lakers now? I remember one of the things we like to do on our team previews, we always ask our guests, hey, where do you see where the Lakers stand going forward? You've seen the Lakers 2-2. You've seen us not play our best basketball at all this season. So when it comes down to it, my friend, where do you see the Lakers right now? It's just only 4 games in, but still a long ways to go and a lot of things to do if you're a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I think, you guys kind of mentioned it's like 2 guys playing offense and then the other 3 kind of sit back and watch. And I think if you get valuable minutes, again, the minutes thing with LeBron is still very up in the air even after tonight. He had 33 tonight, so he had over 30 again. So it's like I don't really know how they're going to play that out as it goes on. It seems like right now it gets them by very slightly, but with time going on, we'll see how that happens. But he scored a lot, did not shoot the ball overly well, whereas guys like Anthony Davis I thought shot particularly well. D'Angelo Russell had a really good shooting night from what he's been having. I think if you get those 3 kind of going within a certain amount of minutes, I'd put it 20 range. I think you'll see wins out of that team eventually. And I think the other stuff, the kinks they have, guys like Gabe Vincent not really being a factor at all on the team this year, they start to kind of come in later on in the season as it progresses, and this team will eventually figure it out. I think it just depends on the night. They have something go right, whereas something didn't, and they just need to start putting it together a little bit.
Magic Man, do you concur with Alfred? Let me hear your thoughts, my friend, because again, we have not seen the Lakers have a complete game yet so far this season, yet we find ourselves at 2-2.
Honestly, Gerald, if we had looked, well, we did look at the schedule and gauge where we'd be at this point. 2-2, about consensus was around 2-2, outside 3-1. But no, I think everybody saw the schedule and figured the first 2 would be a split, and then I thought the next 2 would be a split. Although I thought we would beat the Kings last night and lose this game, given the way Orlando has been playing. But yeah, I'm Gerald. I mentioned it in the chat. Normally, what I do is I'd like to use the number 500 as a yardstick. So 500 possessions, 500 minutes. Usually that's a good gauge, a good indicator about where a lineup or a team is headed. It's obviously not set in stone, but it's a good point of legend on a map. At this point in time, it's incomplete. I think it's incomplete for both teams. The Lakers aren't healthy, and they don't have a fortified defense as they did last year. Although the past, excluding the OT, and I would say the second quarter, the defense has been all right the past 2 games. So I think we really need to hedge on any kind of interpretation until Vando gets back, and I would say the same is true for Orlando. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Alfred. I said on the playback broadcast that I thought the Raptors really overthought that draft by taking Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs. Suggs looks like he's forming into what could be in the next 2 or 3 years an all NBA defender. All the signs are there. He's strong. He gets it. He understands what they're trying to do defensively, and I think he can be a big cog for them. I guess my question to you is, who do you think is the odd man out in that guard rotation? Do you eventually see the Magic sticking with Fultz, or do you think they're just going to probably think maybe Cole Anthony is the right hand to ride off the bench? I'd be very interested, because I think there's a big difference in terms of philosophy on which guy you want to keep, but that's just my opinion.
So Cole Anthony got extended 3 years for $39 million right before the season started. And I told Gerald this in the pregame for this game. That's right around what Magic fans thought would be 6-man money. And it's hard because Cole's an odd kind of 6-man, but realistically, I think the way it is right now seems to be kind of working. I like the Fultz, is not a guy who's going to jump off the stat page all the time. He's just not. But when you watch him, I thought when you watched him tonight, he made little, plays, little layups at the rim, getting the ball all around the offensive part of the floor to players. And I thought he was a very good facilitator, just not on the stat sheet. It was his game looked fluid. On the stat sheet, he put up, I think he had a decent amount of points. He was 14 with 8 assists. I mean, that's a solid night. I'll take that out of a starting point guard for a team that on a good night, not like tonight, has 2 good wing players on the side to get your offensive from. So I think Markelle Fultz is another guy who's up for an extension. We'll see during the year if that happens or not. I think it will. I think he's the next man up. But I kind of like the way it is now. And, guys like Gary Harris, again, I hate to completely blow him to the wind based off what he did tonight, but it's like he's aging. He's up there in his 30s. Again, kind of buried at the bottom of the pile of this guard room, and especially with Anthony Black and Jet Howard, who we haven't seen a lot of this year, maybe starting to play a little more. There's no telling what will happen with him. So to answer your question the brief way, I think it's fine right now. I think Cole Anthony got 6-man money and might have been underpaid a little bit, but I think all directions are pointing to this working. It's just about the process, trusting it, and catching everyone on better nights around those guards.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 106-103. Joe, going to bring you here next, my friend. It's so great to have Darren and Intel providing with the super chats a little bit more comedic in nature regards to Darvin Ham. There's a lot of heat already on Darvin Ham from the Lakers audience out there, not only on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break, but obviously if you've been watching this show on the YouTube or Facebook feeds right now, a lot of issues with Ham and the far as coaching. You talked about his lack of an offensive skill set, being able to provide that seems more like, your turn, my turn. Let's see what we can do between 2 guys named LeBron and AD, and that's it. Your thoughts, my friend. It is becoming a little bit of a concern for you. I don't think he's going anywhere because he's got that 4-year contract. And like Magic Man said, they don't want to pay a plethora of coaches if they have to go ahead and fire him. I don't think you're going to see it anytime soon, but something needs to go ahead and diversify itself a little bit more when it comes to Darvin Ham's coaching outside of hands in the pocket themes, hands in the pocket songs, hands in the pockets memes, stuff like that, where he's not calling timeout, he's not challenging plays, he's not doing the things he needs to do and pointing out things that they need to fix or work on, or pointing out flaws in the other team like Magic Man has been calling out in regards to foul trouble. So what are your thoughts on Darvin Ham right now? Because it is becoming a little bit of a concern.
There's a lot of questions on this one. Number 1, who do you replace him with? Number 2, what's he waiting for?
Why is he not challenging? That's what SC for Life is saying. I agree.
What's he waiting for? And where are the assistants? And where is LeBron trying to maybe figure something out there? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really don't know what's going on with that guy. I don't know. Is the pressure on him so much that he's kind of blocking it out? Did our offense get worse from last year? I don't remember it being this bad. Maybe it is a residual from the fact that we have players that are not playing very well, and it could be. But we got to give it a little bit of time here, I guess. But there's really no solution unless you have someone dead set on being able to replace Darvin Ham, and it's someone good. Who's good? I don't want to play this. I do this we do this in every sport. Every offensive coordinator stinks. Every head coach stinks every week of every game. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to do at this point. I'm trying to focus on if Reaves is going to get out of this funk, and is Gabe Vincent was he the right pickup? Could we have not figured something out with Schroeder since he was already familiar with what we had. So those are some of the things that I've been thinking about. I don't know any other way to kind of say it. December 15th, we'll be here within the next 7 weeks. And I guess we'll know probably then because some things will open up at that point. But I don't see trading like it. Trading players has never been in December. Has never really been a big thing in the NBA. So I'm not even really gonna give that much thought. What needs to happen here is the guys that are not performing need to start figuring out what the problem is. And if Darvin Ham wants to show that he's a competent coach, is he going to be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat or out of his pocket and all of a sudden decide that I want to coach an offensive scheme? No. So what exactly is the setup? The setup looks like garbage. It's a two-man game where three people are watching. And LeBron has to make off-balance shots with his right hand going left off the backboard and it going in. They have to make those kind of shots. AD getting a rebound, turning around, hitting it from no man's land, which is anywhere between 9 to 10 feet. That shot is a lost art. Very few people can actually make that shot, and he did at an important time. And if those shots don't go in tonight, the Lakers lose this game. And that's not an offensive set. That is, holy crap, the shot clock's going down. I got to get this up, and it goes in. That's what the great players do. They make those shots, but it's not consistent enough. So it's very, very concerning. It's very concerning. But the thing is, we've already known this about Darvin Ham. He never had an offense. So what are we going to expect here the next 78 games? I don't think we're going to see an offense that's coherently run. The only way you can make a basic offense make sense is if you hit your shots. Lakers haven't been able to shoot, at least from long distance, very well. Tonight they shot well in terms of field goal percentage, but I'm in that dead spot. I don't really know how to assess this until I guess I see it a little bit longer, and we got to see who's going to bust out of this slump. Reaves looks dead, mentally dead, and Gabe Vincent looks like, even though he was in the plus area again tonight, I don't know if he's comfortable. There's hardly any
4-7 tonight, though.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if he's comfortable playing in that position. He just doesn't feel comfortable. There's not enough space. There's no passing lanes. That's one of the things that I noticed about the Orlando offense. I felt like Orlando had so much spacing, and they were getting open shots from deep. They were getting the paint. They were able to get to the paint and distribute the ball to someone slashing. Like they were moving. They were moving and pivoting and getting the spots. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why is this Orlando team looking more balanced and more effective? And then how the hell are the Lakers in this game? There was a minute there where I'm like, how the hell are we only down 8? Well, at the end of the day, guys, it's the talent. You have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's why. That's why the NBA is star heavy. But if you don't have those guys making those off-balance shots and crazy rebounds and things like that, you're toast. You can't expect that for 82 games out of the year. Right now, the Lakers are playing 500 ball. Not just right now, but if they keep this up, they will finish 41-41. Somewhere around there. So somebody has to figure something out here, whether it's the players, whether it's chemistry. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to let this kind of play out a little bit. I know we said this yesterday, but that's all we can do at this point. Firing Darvin Ham, the only way you fire Darvin Ham is if you've got the next big thing waiting. Who can they bring in? You can't bring a retread. You can't do that. You gotta roll with what you got right now at this point. Otherwise, you're just gonna kind of put a monkey wrench in the season.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 106-103. Alfred, I want to go ahead and bring you back in here. One of the things I did want to ask you is when it comes to the Magic, again, back to your team, 40% from the three-point line. That's obviously what we're striving for. It would be nice if the Lakers could go ahead and shoot anywhere near that. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Because today, for us Lakers fans, we see a sparkling 29% from behind the arc and only 8 threes. Once again, some anemic issues when it comes to what the Lakers are shooting, just like we started off last season. But the only thing is, when it comes to Orlando Magic, I said 40% from behind the arc. Overall, it was only 40%. So that's a problem. I think that's something that I think the coaching staff on your team needs to address is 40% overall when you're shooting 40% from three. That's not a good sign. That means a lot of missed layups, a lot of poor shot selection inside the arc. Your thoughts on that, my friend?
Yeah, and I saw you said poor shot selection, rush shots, even those kind of things. One guy who I saw do that a lot tonight was Paolo. I felt like every time Paolo had the ball and he tried to do something with it, he would run.
He's not had a good start. He's not had a good start, has he?
No, not just 9 points tonight. And, I didn't even think he had that much. I looked at 9 points and I went, wow, he has 9 points, as in more than what I thought. But, it was like every time he had the ball, he kind of just dribbled and ran right into Anthony Davis, sticking his hand straight up in the air. And yeah, that's a hard shot, however you want to put it. So he did that happened a lot. The 3-point shooting definitely was boosted. I mean, 5 for 5 for Gary Harris definitely helped that a lot. But again, it's as you said, normally we've been way better with the inside shot. We're a little bit above the NBA average in inside shooting from inside the arc. And tonight, that just wasn't in the cards. And obviously, a lot of that comes from the drives that Banchero and Wagner produced. And as I said, a lot of those drives were just stood up by Anthony Davis. And I got to mention Christian Wood, who had some nice plays inside on the interior with defense.
That's been, I think, the biggest surprise of the season, Sean. Not the fact that we're struggling again on offense, not even Austin Reaves struggling for the start of the season. I think the biggest surprise from many people out there is the defense by Christian Wood. We're going to go and talk about your defensive ratings that you posted out there for Gabe Vincent here in a sec. But I want to first talk about on the plus side. Christian Wood is playing well above expectations on that. All I asked for was average. We're getting that and even a little bit more beyond it. There are some times where he just goes mental brain fade and, that we see that. But there are some good moments he's giving us on the defensive end, and I think that's a big plus for us.
Absolutely, Gerald. Both Gabe Vincent and Christian Wood have defensive ratings this year of 111. Just to put that in perspective, okay, guys out there, Triple J won the Defensive Player of the Year award, third in defensive rating. His defensive rating was 110.7. So Gabe Vincent is playing stellar defense. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Don't want to hear it in there. Don't want to hear it from a panelist. He is doing his job. Defensively. Offensively is another story, Gerald. But as far as Christian Wood goes, biggest happy surprise in the last, I would say, 4 years of the Lakers, Gerald. Outside of winning the championship, he is being a very vigorous weak side. No, he is, Gerald. Don't make that.
No,
face
I'm just
at
saying.
me.
I hate to say this to everyone out there. All the detractors out there. You and I were the biggest detractors. I was kind of like on the fence, and you were.
I mean, Crow right now, Gerald.
Yeah.
I mean, invisible
but
Crow.
He is the leader in the clubhouse for the Lakers in plus minus.
Yes, plus 49, almost a plus 50.
Yeah, so that's why I'm making that face. I'm like,
yeah. It's a what stands out about that? Yeah, Christian Wood is leading the Lakers at plus minus. Not LeBron, not AD, not Austin Reaves. It's Christian Wood. The much maligned
Laker Tom
Christian
never
Wood.
left the Wood bandwagon. He was driving it. He is the actual chauffeur for this Christian Wood bandwagon.
But Gerald, I think what's advantageous for Wood is that he's playing beside another big. He wasn't playing with another big in Detroit, and he wasn't playing with another big in Houston.
And definitely in Dallas, yeah.
Yeah,
Or at least not a talented big.
Well, Dwight Powell doesn't. Dwight Powell
Does that
isn't a
really
talent.
count?
No, you can't.
Maxi Kleber when he was not
and all
injured.
due respect, I know he's Canadian. I'm not trying to disrespect Dwight, but it is what it is. It's the same thing with Robert
He's
Sacre.
the type of player in the NBA that finds himself starting, and it's like somebody doesn't. You turn your head and he's starting again. How did he get to be starting again? It's like then he finds himself on the bench. How did he get to be starting again? It's like, oh my gosh, Dwight Powell. It's like they're always just regurgitating back to the starting
Dwight
role.
Powell is the new Zaza Pachulia.
Exactly. So, but let me get it back to Joe here in a second. But before I do, you talked about in the chat, you gave everybody a link to Gabe Vincent's defensive rating, which is right now about a little bit over 111, which normally on the surface compared to over the course of last year wasn't bad because he was higher. He's like in the 116, I think it was.
Yeah,
but
I looked it up, Gerald. Yeah, he was 115.8.
Yeah, so compared to last year, it's better, but then compared to the rest of the team, because remember, we've had 2 games under 100, 3 games under 110 points, if I'm not mistaken. So if that's the case, that's not that great.
No, it's not. It's not. However, in the big scheme of things,
It's terrible, but it's
not terrible.
Great.
It's not, but it's not great. No, well, that's why I said like it's kind of in some ways that one is less misleading than the plus minus, Gerald, because the defensive rating does take into account your ability to create opportunities either with steals or blocks. So
and Jeff is in the chat saying you can take or leave it as far as the plus minus. I get that. Some people rely more upon it than others.
You have to take the plus minus with a grain of salt, right, Gerald? Because it's only within a one game like fixed
but the
evaluation.
That Christian Wood, when he's been in there, has been, from what I'm seeing, the team has overall performed better when he's been out on the floor.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you go to the Lakers' best 5-man lineup, he's in it. He's the one who's in it, and I think it's going to show again that the best 5-man lineup that the Lakers could have right now is LeBron, Taurean Prince, Christian Wood, Anthony Davis, and then you add in a D'Angelo Russell. I think that would be the Lakers' best 5 at this point. Now, it's because he talked about bulking up the rotation, Gerald. He may decide. We know him. He says one thing. Darvin Ham says one thing about lineups and does another. He may flirt with the idea now of inserting Christian Wood in the starting lineup. I would, Gerald.
Yeah.
Based on his productivity, I think that may lead to like better bench play as well. Because I ultimately, Gerald, something has to be remedied here.
I mean, there was a couple issues with Wood. He did do that air ball, like was mentioned in the chat, and there was that play where he had a 3-footer that he could have taken instead to try to pass it to AD, who's like had 3 people all over him. A couple little things that kind of make you scratch your head, but then again, he's playing better than virtually anyone else. So at this point in time,
absolutely. And by the way, Gerald, combined 6 blocks tonight for AD and Christian Wood. So they protected the paint.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win 106-103. Sneak out a win at the Crypt. It's Gerald Glassford along with Alfred Ezman from the Orlando Magic Daily. Truly appreciate him joining us. A very late night for him and the Magic Man, Sean Grice and Joe Soro. Joe, let me bring it back to you with LeBron James. You and I, and it was funny because it started out as probable, then it became game time decision on LeBron. Let's see how he feels. He decided to go ahead and make a go of it. 33 minutes playing above the 29-minute cut line again. Did not see the kind, obviously 38 years old, did not see the kind of lift from him. But I will tell you, when he was on that court, the team was better. When he was off the court, the team lost ground to the Orlando Magic this evening, Joe.
Yeah, the term valuable is different when it comes to LeBron James. I don't think we truly understand how valuable he is. He is extremely valuable. in every way. Even when he doesn't play well, he's valuable. 33 minutes is, I would say, doable. I could handle 33, 32, but it's just unfortunate that it came off of 39 the night before in overtime. I would have preferred the Lakers to go for the win in Sacramento instead of go for. I mean, again, you never know until you know, right? They made the right move. LeBron goes to the basket to tie the game. I get it, but it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle, especially if Darvin Ham doesn't figure out a coherent offensive scheme, game in and game out. We're going to be playing LeBron ball with whatever that pick and roll he does with AD. I don't even know what the hell that is. I've done a lot of pick and roll basketball in my life. I don't know what that is. It's more like just AD comes in and sort of distracts LeBron's guy, and then it's like then everybody's just kind of grab-assing. I don't even know if there's such thing as any space there. And, of course, the reason why that is no one's cutting, no one's driving, no one's slashing. So what exactly are you doing this pick and roll offense for? Oh, and by the way, I love it when they do it at the top of the key. I mean, that just makes me love basketball. If you're going to do that, can you pick a damn side, please, so you can create space, get the ball to the open man in the corner or something? I know we've been stinking at that the first 3 games, but at some point this thing has to bust through, right?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I can't figure out how this is the greatest league in the world, and I can't figure. And this is one of the greatest teams of all time. I can't figure out how a coach doesn't know this. Is there something else here? Are the players going AWOL during this time and we don't know about it? Like, I don't understand how a professional team like this, a title contender with these kind of players, how you can't even run a basic pick and roll that looks somewhat organized. Can somebody explain this to me? Was Orlando's defense that potent? I mean, was it potent the night before in Sacramento? No. So what is the deal? I don't understand. That's the question I have tonight.
I will say, though, at times that the Orlando defense, you got to give them credit, especially Suggs, Alfred, and I'll bring you back in here. You know, from a defensive standpoint, you've got reach with Jonathan Isaac, you've got reach with Wendell Carter, you've got Franz Wagner and Paulo with definitely great reach. Paulo, you know, he's always been chided for his lack of defensive instinct. So that's something I think that still needs to improve. But Franz is, like Sean said, and like I said earlier in the pregame, I think he's overall your best player right now in the Orlando Magic. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he is your best player right now, and I don't think it's close. But Suggs, I'm telling you, Suggs from the backcourt. Go ahead, Joe. Go. Please come in.
One thing I do want to say, let's give Darvin credit for taking Austin when he did and putting, because we were talking, we were all assuming that he was going to take out Christian Wood. He didn't. Took out Austin, left Christian Wood in there. So looks like he learned his lesson from the night before. Again, this is the 4th game of the year. He has said that he's trying to tinker with what might work. I'm going to give you the bad, and I'm also going to give you the good. The good was he made a good call there, and it likely won us the game.
So, but what does that tell you, Joe? And I'll bring it to you here in a second, Alfred. What does that tell you when Prince is having a terrible offensive game, yet he's the one relied upon to go down the stretch instead of Reaves?
It's pretty bad because I think Reaves mentally is really it's really bad right now. His mental game is absolutely in the gutter, and he's letting him play enough to see if he can bust out of this issue. It's worse than it was last year. I remember he struggled at the beginning of the year last year, but it looks worse. It looks worse because he was exploited in the World Cup, and it seems like it's tailed into the NBA season. I don't know how he's going to get out of this, but I'm hoping he does, because it would help for him to get him. We need him. It would make things much easier. But I don't know. I don't know where we can go I don't know where we can go if he's not him. If he's not him, we're going to need to do some shuffling here. Rob's going to have to make some decisions here. I don't know when.
And it's funny because the first thing you're going to hear, as we always do on reading, is, "Oh, you're all ready to trade him, and it's only the fourth game of the year." It's just signs that we're seeing. It's just signs that may be heading towards something else, or we could see it develop into something better if Austin Reaves finds his game. But Alfred, I'm going to bring you back in because I know, again, it's late for you and Magic, so I truly appreciate both of you staying on with us, especially Magic Man for carrying us all through playback and whatnot. So I will ask you this, my friend, when it comes to Orlando, again, obviously they put up a great test against the Lakers today, 2-1 heading into the Clippers tomorrow. What do you see them doing? Do you think they can provide some damage and hopefully they will not roll over against the Clippers tomorrow?
I think there's a chance of it. I think it's going to be difficult. Again, I've said it before on here. This was the night to really go out there and kind of, put forth a lot of pressure and a lot of effort. It's the Lakers. It's a contender with LeBron on the team. You're going to want to show out against that team. And they nearly got it done with the win. But I do think by the end of it, that team was battled. You know what I mean? Battered and battled. And I think, heading into tomorrow, I hope to see a little bit better shooting on the interior. That'd be my number one thing. Again, I'm still holding on to, I know it hasn't been a promising first 3 games. I'm still going to hold on to Paolo having a good game eventually. That might have to wait until Saturday when we're back in the Amway Center against the Lakers again, just because we're on this West Coast road trip. And that could be a factor for him. But I do think eventually at some point it's going to have to start to pick up if this team wants to be successful. The offense runs through him too much. Same thing with Franz. Franz, again, had a good amount of points, but didn't shoot well. Didn't really shoot that efficient all night. So I would like to see him do better on the inside when it comes to his efficiency. And then even on the outside, he didn't take a 3-point shot the entire first half. He waited until the second half to take some 3-point shots. And I think, it was nice to see guys like Gary Harris take and make threes, but you would also like to see a guy like Franz Wagner, our best player, take and make those threes as well, because he's on the floor for way longer than Gary Harris, obviously.
I think it's more about Banchero taking it to the basket and being more efficient. Like we saw that, because again, it pointed out 40% from overall, it means you're not shooting well from inside the arc. So if Banchero and Franz can take it to the basket, I think that suits them better because they're not bad free throw shooters.
No, usually not. And tonight, I think the Magic went 72% from the line. So pretty off night. Not great. Want to see better. But usually Franz Wagner's pretty good at the line. Paulo, that's one thing he improved throughout last year, and he's been okay at this year is his free throw shooting. So, again, I agree with you. I think the inside shots need to come at a higher rate, at a more efficient rate for Franz, and definitely just more flat out from Paulo. So that's the main thing I'm looking for tomorrow. But everything else, again, against this team looked okay. I think if they bring, again, it's a grind being on a West Coast road trip on the Pacific Coast for a team like the Magic. But I think if you sit down on defense like they did tonight and the 2 nights ago in Portland, you're going to put yourself in position to really win some of these games. And I think if they continue that against the Clippers and Utah before they head back to Orlando, that's going to be huge as well.
Once again, it's the Lakers winning 106-103. Thanks for joining us so far on the Lakers Fast Break. If you like what you see and you're anywhere around the world, even Google, big shout out to Brazil. Big shout out to you in Brazil. Appreciate it. Zangerstein in the Philippines. Everybody else, UK, I know Canada, everybody else out there, truly appreciate you being part of what we're doing here at the Lakers Fast Break. Magic Man, though, from Canada, still know that you're kind of PO'd when you see that number in the box score. The Lakers offensive rebounds 3, the Orlando Magic offensive rebounds 12. This is something that both you and Joe over the course of the summer continually pointed out. Offensive rebounds is still going to be a problem. Today it was a problem again. Your thoughts, my friend, because this is not too pretty. We have the size. It just seems like the ball, and we can only say the ball is not bouncing our way so much. And it looks like that because so far that's what we've seen. But also, I think just the effort and the intangibles and the fundamentals are just not there right now for the Lakers.
No, Gerald. And it was a big concern for both me and Joe. that's an issue. It didn't rear its ugly head yesterday, but it sure did tonight, and eventually it's going to happen. Other
It sounds like Magic Man just popped off for a second, that wonderful Canadian internet, but he's coming right back with us here. Go ahead, Sean. We got you back here. Shout out to Trudeau for messing with your internet, but go ahead, my friend.
blame Canada,
Yes,
blame
absolutely.
Canada.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can laugh at my country.
As long as you can.
I live here.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, the fundamentals are what keeps the structure afloat, Gerald. Bad fundamentals means that the house sinks into the sea eventually. It's a Jimi Hendrix reference. I'm dealing with a bunch of knobs here. I'm just kidding, Alfred. You are a great guy. It's these two knobs I'm talking about.
Thank you. You're a hoser, but need I digress? But
fair enough. Fair enough. But I just wanted to add a little kind of note here, Gerald, is that even though they did get badly smeared on the offensive boards, again, the defensive focus on the weak side rebounding was very good. That this is the third straight game where they made an emphasis on it. So Wood did his job there. LeBron actually had a pretty good game as a weak side rebounder as well when he had to be. So I get it. The fundamentals are there right now, but there are positive signs elsewhere. They just need to clean up. We miss Vando, Gerald. That's basically what it is. We really do miss him. And not just grabbing the boards. He's a cog for us for boxing out. Him and AD are the only two Lakers who consistently, fundamentally box out, and we're missing that badly.
Once again, though, it is the Lakers sneaking out a win, 106-103. We'll be back tomorrow for an awesome Halloween episode where we'll talk the Lakers and set you up for Wednesday's game on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break against the Clippers. But Joe, before we head out, I want to ask you where your patience lies with Austin Reaves. You talked about how the Lakers may, starting as early as mid-December, may have to look into options and alternatives. And again, before we get all the hate back at LakersFastBreak at yahoo.com, as far as from all the emails or anything of that nature, that we're trying to trade these players away, what is your patience as far as Austin Reaves? Let's start with the starting lineup. What is your patience with Austin Reaves as far as staying in that starting lineup if he continues to struggle? How many more games do you see this lasting?
I'd say a month, mid-November, if it continues. He might sprinkle a couple games in there that are good, but we were expecting him to be the third best player on the team, and he might not even be the best sixth player on the team at this point. But Darvin Ham and the crew need to do something to get him out of his funk. I believe this is all mental. His defense is weak. There's no doubt about that. But it shouldn't be this weak. I don't know if there's a solution either. Even if they did want to make something happen, you've got contracts like Gabe Vincent. He's making $11 million. You got Reaves at 14, so that's $25 million right there that you could play with down the road if something presents itself. But I don't know. I think we're looking ahead a little too much. Let things play out. I really want this win on Wednesday. This will really bother me if they lose this, especially if they get beat handedly. It's just that it's getting really tiring losing to the Clippers. A do-nothing franchise that keeps beating you. This doesn't ever feel good. So I'm hoping that they have enough energy here. I'm hoping AD can drop a 40 and 20 on Wednesday, and the boys that have been missing shots from deep consistently make them all through the game. And that's what we need. The Lakers are due a damn blowout here. I'd like to see a blowout, They haven't had one of those, like,
It's hard to think, isn't it?
I swear, I was trying to think of it. I haven't seen them blow out a good team in a while.
Actually, the last time was the
you
Memphis series.
You can say the Memphis. I know it's the playoffs. I don't think I'm counting the playoffs. I'm counting regular season. Can we smoke these guys? Can we start smoking some good teams, please?
Because that's what you're going to hear in the next couple of days is that how the Clippers have owned the Lakers in the regular season.
Yeah, and when does the pride kick in? When does I'm tired of being called a wuss in this particular little rivalry. Grow some, Darvin Ham. This is the part where the coach comes in handy. Get your hand out of your goddamn pockets and freaking motivate these guys. Seriously, this is your job too. You're gonna stand there like a freaking. I almost said something I wasn't supposed to say.
Yes.
You're gonna stand there like a goddamn statue, like Dave Roberts, and do nothing while your team sucks. Stop. What's your occupation here? Is your occupation just to collect a check and say I'm a head coach? Do something. Motivate. That does matter too. Put some fire in your team. So I'm just trying to prepare myself here to mentally be into this game, and hopefully we get this little whatever the hell's going on with this team out of our way.
I will say, though, it's been great having you here, Alfred. Truly appreciate everything that you've done for us as far as in the pregame, obviously our team preview for the Orlando Magic, and looking forward to having you come back anytime you want. I said on the pregame, I'll say it now. You are welcome back anytime to cover anything you want, whether it's Orlando, East Coast, NBA, you want to talk Lakers. Anytime you want to go ahead and stop on back, you just got to hit me up. You know where you can find me. But before we head on out, you got to go ahead and give the cheap plug. Where can people find you? What articles you're working on? Because it's not just basketball you're working on a ton more.
Yeah, so if there are any Magic fans at all watching the stream right now, you guys can check out my work at Orlando Magic Daily. I'll definitely have something coming out after the Clippers game tomorrow on kind of how this road trip has done thus far for the Magic and how the first 4 games have gone for them. So check that stuff out at Orlando Magic Daily. I've begun writing as well for the Buffalo Bills in the NFL. So I do usually do 1 article a week on them, a pregame something after the game, that sort of thing. And then, of course, Rays colored glasses, the Tampa Bay Rays. The baseball season is coming to an end, just the World Series going on right now. But I am giving out player grades for the Rays from this past season, how each of them did. Working through the batting lineup, going to be doing pitchers after that. So those are the things I'm working on right now. And I just want to thank you, Gerald, for having me on throughout today, before and after the game. Thank you guys for having me, and looking forward to possibly some future opportunities here.
Absolutely. You're always welcome. Just hit us up. You're definitely appreciated. Your insight was tremendous on both the Orlando Magic and the Los Angeles Lakers. I know Magic Man's had a long day. It looks like, it's either Joe or Austin Reaves' defense gave him a headache. So we'll make sure we go ahead and end this pretty soon. But please join us tomorrow. Which one was it? I'm not sure. Have to watch playback to find out.
The headache's gone.
Really? I know you were grabbing your head there for a second, so I'm not quite sure.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay. All right.
I may be diabetic, but I've still got Wolverine blood in me.
Okay. Well, you can still say it's Joe. That's okay. Austin Reaves' defense was pretty bad too. So, okay. All right. But I will tell you
what happened there. You swallowed a lot of air there, hot air, Joseph.
Watch out.
Your jokes tonight, just phenomenal.
Absolutely.
You should go to the comedy store.
I'm looking at a joke right now.
You should. Yeah, you all should go to the comedy store and talk to Pauly Shore's mom and get you guys a little set up there.
I don't even want to go there. Yeah.
Who's Pauly Shore's mom?
Yeah.
But what does that
Talk about a bad joke. That was definitely a bad joke indeed. But once again, it's the Lakers.
She owns the comedy store, you dunces. Jesus Christ. Get a clue.
Yeah. All right. Everybody's
Quiet.
supposed to know that.
See,
Everybody,
Alfred, that's what happens when I talk. Is they all
Yeah.
quiet because they don't know what to say next.
we're all in stunned silence at how bad it is. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro, Alfred Ezman from Orlando Magic Daily, and Magic Man Sean Grice. Thanks again for so much for watching, listening from around the world. Tien, new actually a member here leaving questions. What's the starting five in defense if we're up by 2 points in the last 24 seconds, or an offensive? Basically, right now you saw tonight, Tien, since Reaves was bad, you saw Prince, Wood, LeBron, AD, and D'Lo. That's what you're going to get right now down the clutch, unless you see Austin Reaves pick it up. Because if you don't, then you're going to see Austin Reaves pulled more often and more often. We saw that when we had Westbrook on the team. They finally decided to take him off the floor and bench him when they needed to. When they needed to the most. We're going to see that from Reaves unless he gets it all together. So that's where we're going with that. But Zachary, great to have you here. Eduardo, again, if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe. You get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. We're coming on tomorrow night for a special Halloween episode. What will be, what's our costumes? Have you got a costume in mind yet, Magic Man? You going to go as Joe Soro?
I can't pull off Joe. I can't pull him off. First of all, I have curly hair.
Okay.
So that wouldn't work. Second of all,
Yeah. Okay.
there is no second of all.
Okay. Just got to get you some Simblade shirts and you're all set.
I'm still waiting for one.
You're getting.
I'll be waiting longer than Warren Beatty waited to get to heaven.
Adrian, what actually Serge just put something in the chat in regards from Adrian Roshanowski. So James Harden is now a Los Angeles Clipper, everyone. So
Wow.
it has just been dropped right now as we speak. Thank you, Serge. Big shout out to you for covering it. Adrian Roshanowski reports the Philadelphia 76ers have agreed on a trade to send guard James Harden to the Los Angeles Clippers. It has not been said for what as of yet, but we're searching it right now. But big shout out to Serge for letting us know that right here in the chat. The link is right there. It's based off of Twitter. Joe, initial reactions from you. I want to go to you first, my friend.
So every single whining and dining and crying this piece of crap has done, what does the NBA do? They give him exactly what he wants. So as far as Daryl Morey, Adam Silver, and the whole NBA is concerned, you guys are spineless slug, freaking weak pieces of garbage. He still gave him what he wanted after all the whining. No one will ever learn a lesson. They just keep giving these idiots what they want, and they'll keep whining the way they do. Suck it, all of you. Seriously, this is absolutely pathetic.
Alfred, any initial thoughts on this, my friend? I don't think he'll play tomorrow night. So
no, I don't think he will either. But good for Philadelphia. I mean, goodness gracious, I think this helps get a big old mole off of their skin, so to speak, and this helps clear that locker room up a little bit for that season, because that's a team that's still in competition for a title and with Embiid's future up for grabs based on how this season goes. And it's like, with that out of the way, now really the locker room's clear, everything feels great, and this team can get it going. As for the Clippers, interesting move. It's kind of one of those, I feel like you got to wait until they play with him out on the floor to see what happens. Again, I don't really know how much value he's going to provide with his age and with, the perimeter players they have right now with guys like Paul George and Kawhi.
Both need the ball.
Yeah, who both really need the ball. And you got a guy like Harden who's also going to want the ball. So I don't know. Kind of a shot in the dark for them. It's interesting. But again, the way I look at it, I more so look at it as, wow, Philadelphia kind of kicks the elephant off of their back there with that one and kind of can start to pick up their season with a clearer locker room.
Magic Man, do you think this trade is for this year, or is this trade for the new arena?
Well, he's going to sign that big extension, Gerald. and you'll be
Because they want to make sure they guarantee seats in that new arena. So
I'd be more. You'd have to pay me to go watch him play at that new arena. What are you going to watch him do? Step back threes?
So
apparently he's still a name. Apparently
or get close enough to smell his butter and cheese beard. Like seriously, what exactly has this guy done for the NBA that's made it better?
Okay, so their title chances just went from very, very slim, Gerald, to remote. Because now you have to play James Harden defensively, and you also have to move likely Kawhi Leonard to power forward, Gerald. And Kawhi Leonard is 6'7". He's got 2 bad knees, really bad knees. I don't think you want him bumping and grinding in the paint, which is what they're likely going to ask him to do, because Paul George sure as hell isn't going to do it. The only time that guy gets down and dirty is when he's in the club, not on the basketball floor.
I'm just saying these are names. I didn't say it's going to help them win a title. In fact, the first thing you see on Twitter right below the trade, somebody put a picture up there, Alfred.
Hey, look, they had one of the best 5-man rotations going right now. Westbrook, Blake in here. Sorry, Westbrook, Kawhi, Paul George, Robert Covington, and you had Zubats at the 5. Now they've completely blown that up because you're going to shift Robert Covington to the bench. And Gerald, we talked about this beforehand, right? Their role players are not only old, they're depreciating skill sets. Norm Powell isn't that same guy anymore. I watched Norm Powell for years in Toronto. He's not the same player he was. Now there's Covington, and I guess Terrence Mann is off the roster now, Gerald?
I don't know. Again, we've not heard the confirmation on the other players there, Sean or Alfred. Let me bring in Alfred back here. It's so funny because one of the first things I see is by Rishi in Twitter, who posted up a Photoshop picture of James Harden alongside Kawhi, PG, and Westbrook, and he puts the words "who's stopping them." I could think of 5 teams already off the top of my head that's stopping them, and one of them is the Lakers.
Yeah, I think. I think you look at it. You're gonna move, like you said, Magic Man. You're gonna move Kawhi to the 4, right? Because that's probably what might happen, and he's gonna face who? Anthony Davis. It's a bit of a size differential there, or he's gonna have Christian Wood's hand in his grill, and it's gonna be a tough shot. Not saying Kawhi can't make those. Kawhi has the reputation to make them. It just certainly makes lineups look a little more weird and difficult for that team. And again, it's one of those things where maybe something gets put together off of it, but I don't know if they have the role player kind of personnel to help combat it. And I don't really know how that lineup looks, just thinking of it off the top of my head without seeing it.
Exactly. I have to see how this fits or how this doesn't fit. Again, Westbrook has found a new lease on life since he's left the Lakers, and more power to him and good for him. But still, they have deficiencies in their game that I'm not sure. And plus, also, can they stay healthy? We'll wait and see. But we have not heard any confirmation yet, Joe, on who they gave up. Maybe, I don't know who buckled under, but it was getting to the point where, okay, was he going to be able to play a game? Was going to be allowed to play a game on the Philadelphia 76ers? And I think Philadelphia it looks, I don't know offhand yet. I'm just thinking that just due to the circumstances right now, Joe, I think Philadelphia and Daryl Morey might have buckled on this occasion, because I don't think the Clippers really, they didn't have to go ahead and buckle on. They had really no need to go ahead and bet against themselves or bid against themselves. It was basically the drama playing itself out in Philly.
This is the 3rd time this scumbag has done this, and you're still enabling him. And you're enabling the entire league to do this. I have no respect for any of the parties involved in this. They're all trash to me. Starting with James Harden. He's a piece of crap. He's an adolescent child. And I'd say it to his face. I'd say it to his beard. I'd say it to his stupid receding haircut. I'm sick and tired of this guy, and I'm sick and tired of all these guys. It's a disgrace. And then you send them to the toilet of all franchises. How is it that these guys always get these? They always get the player, right? Is there some kind of underlining thing going on where the Clippers can always get what they want in a trade? Are they trying to make these guys win?
They don't feel sorry. The league doesn't have a hatred for the Clippers like they do for the Lakers.
They don't have a hatred for.
Remember, you've been on the show. Well,
they didn't have a hatred.
Just let me say this: you've been on the show before and talked about how this team won't trade with the Lakers. This owner won't trade with the Lakers. This coach won't trade with the Lakers. You've told me about that because it's the Lakers. When you win over the course of years and decades, this is what happened. When the Clippers, who for years has been the worst franchise in sports, statistically, you just get teams that just don't care and they just feel they're going to get one over on the Clippers each and every time.
Get what over? What exactly? What are they going to get over on them?
Well, on a deal, whatnot. I mean, earlier, but when Elgin Baylor was there, people were trying to put one over on him all the time.
You have a whining child who's continuously done this, who's made a mockery of your league and made a mockery of the game. You reward him by putting him where he wants to go. This is the third time. When does this stop? We keep enabling. We keep wondering, well, we need to have. That's why every time you listen to these schmucks talk, oh, well, they're great. And it could be in anything. It could be in movies. It could be in other sports. Oh, well, he's great behind the scenes. He's really got integrity. He's at this, he's at that. Because there's so many trash people out there. That's why there's such a bragging of people when they're actually good. This guy's trash. He's dirty and he's trash. And he's made a mockery of the NBA. And Adam Silver has allowed him to do it. And I'm tired of it. There's a difference between asking for a trade because you feel like, you know what? I've been in Portland. Let's use Damian Lillard as an example. I've been in Portland for X amount of years. I've put everything I could in this thing. Okay. Kevin Garnett, same situation in Minnesota. I've done everything I could. I can't. Can I go somewhere to go win? Yes, that's admirable. I understand that part. Like, you can't judge everything the same way. But this freaking guy has done this 3 times, and you guys have given him what he wanted. Now you're teaching all these other children, which is a lot of them what they are, that, you know what, as long as I whine enough and cry and bitch and make a fit, guess what? I'm going to get what I want. This is a 30-year-old man, or however deep he is in his 30s, still acting like a child. What is that? What are we doing here? Now I got to look at his face 3 times, 4 times now for the rest of the year. At least he was in Philly. I could just see it a couple times.
You'll see him only on the bench on Wednesday. He's not going to play on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, he's not going to play on Wednesday. He's going to go to the club tonight, have a really good time. And
Las Vegas is on the way.
He might be still drunk when he's sitting on the sidelines watching the Lakers and Clippers play.
There's quite a few clubs. Like I said, he's in a great spot because, LAX, there's a few clubs around there.
Right, yeah.
Las Vegas is a 45-minute flight away. LA to San Diego, how many minutes is that on the flight?
Hey, he was more than happy taking the team plane from Houston to Vegas for those recreational trips, Gerald.
Yes,
I'm sure. I don't think Steve Ballmer has a problem with loaning him that. What does Steve Ballmer have for the Clippers? What is it, Joe?
As far as what do you mean?
A plane. What does he got?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he's got whatever.
Is it well, it's not a mock, but it's got to be pretty close.
That's above 747, I would assume.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's going to be all right.
Or a private, or Cessna. Could be a Cessna.
What does that have to do with James Harden?
I don't know, but he's just
flying plane garbage. Like, seriously, we're talking about James Harden. You're talking about planes.
Yeah, so he's talking about flying. Mm-hmm. But okay, basically we have not heard yet.
Tillman Fertitta gave him permission to do it. Why wouldn't Ballmer?
He's not driving to Vegas. He's not driving to Vegas.
Yeah, and you just said it yourself. They placate to the man baby.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, though, we're not getting any feedback yet. Adrian Wojnarowski has just reported that there has been a trade that has been agreed upon with the Clippers. We have not heard the particulars, and we're probably not going to be waiting here all night. Shams dropped the ball on this one, so it looks like it's all Wojnarowski's, but there's no word on who has been traded for yet. Again, what salary is going to match up, what draft picks are involved. I will go ahead and I will post on Lakers Fast Break on Facebook. Also, I will post below in this video, and I will post a memo so that you will find out exactly what the perimeters are on it. Plus, I'll retweet it at Lakers Fast Break. I don't want to keep Alfred and Magic Man here all night. What is the deal? What is the deal?
I'm hearing Shams' name is going to be turned to Shams because that's what his business is going to be.
Yeah, he lost out on this one.
That's what happens when you're a sniveling old punk.
I don't want to go there. He's
a
glad
no, I'm going there because that's exactly what happened, and this is the result. I've seen him in action. He's very courteous and friendly to a lot of people. How sweet. That's nice. Yeah. What about behind the scenes when it matters?
Well, I don't see him behind the scenes.
I know a lot of courtesy. I know a lot of nice people
live.
In front of your face.
He bumped into me right there in Henderson Arena. Okay, so I've seen him work in the crowd. So, all right. Well,
the meat lady at the supermarket, she's real nice to me when I want to order meat.
Okay, well, I don't know what she's doing behind the scenes either.
Exactly, that's my
Nor
point.
do I wish to know. What do you
think she's gonna do? Throw the meat at me? Like,
Alfred, this is what I do.
I would.
Hey, can I get a 16-ounce ribeye?
I would. A brisket right to the melon.
Oh my gosh!
A brisket right to the melon.
I bumped into him and he was nice. He said, "Excuse me." Oh, okay.
We'll be back tomorrow night for a Halloween episode. We'll update you even more on
how are you around a meat slicer, Soro?
I don't slice meat.
Okay, that went dark pretty quick. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be back tomorrow for our annual Halloween episode. We will be back talking all the NBA news, including James Harden. We'll talk about what's going on with the Lakers and previewing Wednesday night's game against the Clippers. Alfred, again, I just truly appreciate the time you've taken to talk to us. I don't know if you ever want to be back on the show again, so we'll see. But Alfred, great to have you here. Orlando Magic Daily, part of the fan side experience, and all the great work that you do for all the other sports. Truly appreciate it. Again, you're always welcome back. Love to have you back on whenever you can, my friend.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Enjoyed tonight's game. Enjoyed talking with y'all, and again, can't wait to be back here in the future, possibly.
I will post again below this video the actual trade results whenever they happen, as far as what the particulars are. I will also post it out and retweet it at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. If you have not yet subscribed today, please do so. We saw a lot of new faces in the chat. Please subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live with the latest Lakers Fast Break. But once again, the Lakers do win 106-103. Exactly, Serge. This did get weird pretty fast. But doesn't it always? I think it does. But I will tell you what, we wish everyone out there a happy and safe Halloween, but we will be back on Halloween night celebrating with you All Hallows Eve right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. You're right, Eric. It is never a dull moment at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Thank you so much, everyone in the chat. Have a great evening.
Sure, that's funny. Jamie looking like Cousin It.
James Harden, a Clipper.
Wearing that glove like Dexter.